Rather large, welcome back to Cossy Arsenal Podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. Declan Rice has arrived at Arsenal as confirmed by Charles Watts. Arsenal will announce him today later on. He spent the bigger part of this morning finalizing all the formalities to get deal with it done. Medicals already completed, so he was not doing medicals, but he was just finalizing a few details, and we're going to be diving into much of that. West Ham, on their part, they've already said farewell, a video, an official statement, and of course, quotes from David Sullivan, the chairman, to confirm that their former captain, Declan Rice, is now a player of another club that they've actually not mentioned in their club statement. We're going to be diving into much of that. Hit the like button, subscribe to the podcast as well. Declan Rice becomes an Arsenal player just before the USA tour. We expect him and Jurriën Timber to be part of the USA tour, where we'll play Man United, FC Barcelona, and the All-Stars from the Major League Soccer in America. Right, let's get into what Charles Watts has actually written. Now, that is the picture. That is the picture that I've been looking at over the last few seconds. That is Declan Rice wearing Arsenal's training kit. That is not photoshopped. That doesn't look like Photoshop at all. Okay, that is Declan Rice there at Arsenal, trying to get life already going. But this is what Charles Watts has written. He said Declan Rice is at Arsenal, finalizing his 105 million move from West Ham. The Hammers announced in a statement on Saturday that an agreement, which is today by the way, that an agreement had been reached for the captain, although they did not name Arsenal as the club they had struck a deal with. Rice also released a statement at the same time saying goodbye to the East London club and thanking the fans for all the support he had actually received from them. He said, and he quotes Rice saying that I want to speak to you personally and directly from the heart to share my thoughts now that my departure from West Ham has been confirmed. He said the last few weeks has been an absolute whirlwind of emotion, but it is important to me that I have the opportunity to say goodbye and reflect on what has been such a special and memorable part of my life. Arsenal are yet to confirm the signing of Rice themselves, but the midfielder has spent Saturday morning at the Emirates Stadium at the club, completing the final formalities of his record-breaking switch and completing his media duties ahead of the official announcement. That announcement is expected sometime on Saturday, with Arsenal heading off to the United States for their pre-season tour on Sunday. That is as reported by ex or former goal.com reporter Charles Watts, and a guy that I really trust when it comes to having deeper roots in at Arsenal. Charles Watts, thank you so much. Now, okay, let's dive into the story. The one thing I heard about Arsenal is the delay in everything. It's one of those things that make the deal look uninteresting. The deal was done almost 10 days ago. It was actually, agreed. A deal was in place 10 days ago. And now, 10 days later, West Ham have confirmed on their socials. Declan Rice has confirmed on his socials. We actually also have pictures of Declan Rice in the premises at Arsenal somewhere, in the premises at Arsenal, and we are still waiting for that unspectacular announcement video or announcement, pictures from Arsenal. It's boring. It's purely boring. I've told you, the last time Arsenal had a very good video to announce a player, I think it was Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang with Henrik Mkhitaryan. I think that was the one. I don't remember any other good one. I don't remember. Maybe the Thomas Partey one. Maybe the Samba Time one. Actually, we could argue, and I would bet AFTV make better announcement videos than the Arsenal official videos. Like, to be honest. But anyway, I don't want to get into that. So Rice is at Arsenal completing his formalities. Announcement is expected today. And he will be flying with the squad to the USA. That is tomorrow. Then, of course, our USA tour will kick off. I think that will be in the next around 3 or 5 days when we play the MLS, Man United, and FC Barcelona. Now, the official statement from West Ham, I wanted to react to it, right? I really did want to react to it, and let's talk about it. So first and foremost, David Sullivan, the chairman, said that he actually said, I want to make this very clear. We did not want to sell Rice this summer. We didn't want to sell Rice to Arsenal, but the player actually insisted that he should leave, okay? And I kind of feel like there is some truth to that, because they've done and they did everything they could to keep him at the club. You remember that 250,000 per week that they offered him across 7 years. They wanted to give him a 7-year deal. He would be the highest earner at West Ham, earning up to 250,000 per week. But Declan Rice actually turned it down. He said, I want to go somewhere, and I want to go somewhere where it's greener. I want to go somewhere where the ambitions are bigger. Now, I think West Ham fans will understand this, as any football fan. Arsenal fans, we have been there, right? We have had players that have outgrown our ambition, and there was nothing we could do about it. Ashley Cole joining Chelsea at a time when Arsenal were on a steep decline and Chelsea were on a very, very big upward trajectory. Cesc Fabregas to FC Barcelona. You couldn't turn down Barcelona at that time, and Arsenal was not that great anyway. We were not competing for silverware, and we were not even competing for anything. So that as well. Thierry Henry to FC Barcelona. I don't think Arsenal could have turned that down in terms of the money, but I don't think Thierry Henry would have turned Pep Guardiola's FC Barcelona down to stay at Arsenal. That is another example. Robin van Persie to Manchester United. He wanted to win silverware. He was getting older. He wanted to win silverware. Alexis Sanchez, he went there for the money, but of course the reputation of Man United in terms of winning trophies also attracted him as well. So as Arsenal fans, we will understand Declan Rice, why he's decided to leave West Ham, who are just organized for a team that wants to stay in the top half of the Premier League, who are just organized for a team that are looking to always try to knock on the door of European football, and who are just organized to make sure that they never go down. I think the ambitions of Declan Rice have grown to much bigger than that. If he has won them the UEFA Conference League, the UEFA Europa Conference League, I don't know why it has such a long name, but if he's the third captain of after Bond and Bobby Moore to win it for them after 43 years, his ambitions will be redefined. His ambitions would have been redefined then. His ambitions would be now that, can I go on to win the UCL? Can I go on to win the Europa League? Can I go on to win the Premier League, the Club World Cup, and possibly the World Cup under England? Now, there's no question that Arsenal make Declan Rice a much better player for England than West Ham. I think West Ham and England are very, very, very similar. West Ham are so pragmatic, and I'm sorry to say this, but they are very, very pragmatic. I think eventually we will see a change in manager at England. The office of manager will switch personnel for England, especially if they don't win the Euros, or if they perform or drop a catastrophe at the upcoming Euros. Southgate will be through the door, and it will be a very, very big step forward for England. Rice at Arsenal is not going to be as pragmatic as he was at West Ham. He's going to have the liberty to do so much more, to provide so much more to his game, to the team, and to England. I think we will see a Rice that will turn into Joshua Kimmich. I won't be surprised to see him standing over free kicks. I won't be surprised to see him arriving into the penalty area more. I won't be surprised to see him trying to shoot just like Xhaka usually did, just like Odegaard did last season, more. I won't be surprised to see him score 7-8 goals in a campaign. and I won't be surprised to see him enter into those advanced areas, increase his number of key passes, penalty entries, and all that. I won't be surprised to increase that, to see an increase in those metrics for Rice while he plays for Arsenal, because that is what Arsenal do. He's signing from a club that naturally defensive because of their budget, because of their ambitions, and because of what they can achieve. I think West Ham will agree that the best they can achieve is top 5. I don't think West Ham in the next 10, 20 years will come close to finishing in top 4. They can. They've been. I mean, you know that vibe when you say what's up. I mean, there will be seasons where they say what's up. There will be campaigns where they come and say what's up. Like Brighton did say what's up last campaign, right? Like Fulham did say what's up last campaign. Like Aston Villa said what's up last campaign. Like Brentford said what's up last campaign. But it is not going to be on a consistent basis, and no West Ham fan will actually set their expectations for UEFA Champions League than at Arsenal. And that's the difference between signing for Arsenal and being at West Ham, and why Arsenal make him a much better player. The ambition at Arsenal is you either win or you're not, or simply not good enough. And I think that is what the England national team want. That is what the England national team require. We either have players that win or they're simply not good enough. Because with tournament football, which is the whole concept of national league football and you know, international breaks, is that you win or you don't win. It is not the same as the league where you finish runners up and qualify for the UEFA Champions League. There's no qualification for the UEFA Champions League. There's nothing like that. It's either you win the World Cup or you're runners up, or you're simply not recognized. No one recognizes England in the last 10 World Cups. No one. Simply, they've done nothing there. Right? Yes, they're finalists at the Euros, at the recent Euros. That is something that you can, talk about. But I think they will need more leaders. Rice is a leader, and I think he will, his leadership skills will actually be more elevated at a club like Arsenal, a club that has very young players, a club that will have so many players depend on him emotionally and in very, very many other aspects. Right? A club that will have many players look up to him. He's a giant. He's a huge guy. They will look up to him. They will respect him. And that respect, that mentality, he will carry on to England. So I think he's chosen Arsenal over West Ham because it was the right choice to do. It was the right thing to do. It was that period. It was that decision that was always going to define how ambitious he is. He could have decided to stay at West Ham. We know that. He could have decided to become Mark Noble. He could have decided to become a legend there. He's won the league. He's going to win. If he stays at West Ham, he wins another 4 or 5 Player of the Season awards, and hence end of his career. At Arsenal, he might win 1 or none of Player of the Season award. I'm telling you, he might win none, because Saka with his tantalizing touches, it's hard to win that the Player of the Season at Arsenal over Saka. It is hard to win it over Saliba. It is hard to win it over Odegaard. Martinelli was cheated, so it's hard to win it over Martinelli. And I do reckon that Kai Havertz and Gabriel Jesus will each have tantalizing campaigns, 1 or 2, at Arsenal. So he's come into a pool of players that, look, they will look at him and they will say, you're huge, you're tall, bro. But in terms of performance, in terms of ability on the pitch, everybody's going to say, what's up? Everyone is going to say, what's up? Everyone at Arsenal will make a statement at some point in time. Be it Ben White, who I actually believe could be replaced by Timber. Just imagine, Timber is the best ball playing centre back in the Dutch Eredivisie. He's now part of Arsenal. Rice is the biggest interceptor in the Premier League. He's part of Arsenal. And Odegaard is one of the most creative goal-scoring midfielders in the Premier League. He's at Arsenal. You don't just walk in and win your player of the season. It's going to be harder than that. And he has decided to test himself against the best. Now, why he has chosen Arsenal over Manchester City, I cannot tell. I really cannot tell. Because for all the right reasons, you join Arsenal, they're the same right reasons why you join Manchester City. You want to win, you want to write history, you want the big paycheck, you want to, you want to be ambitious, and you want to elevate your game, right? And you want to be under the best manager in the world, in Pep Guardiola. So I don't know why he chose Arsenal over Manchester City, but if I were to choose Arsenal over Manchester City, I would be thinking about two things. One, I'll be looking at the project. At Manchester City, they are winners, and there's no question that they are favorites to win the Premier League next season. But Arsenal need to write history, and Arsenal are rewriting history. From competing to go back to Europe and closely losing out the season before last season, to closely winning the Premier League last season, to now being a key contender for the Premier League before the season starts next season. I think that in itself tells Declan Rice, if I go here, I could do a Jordan Henderson. And I think Rice is going to have the opportunity to do what Jordan Henderson didn't do. I think he can win the Premier League, the UCL, FA Cup and Carabao Cup, just like Henderson and all these other small trophies that Henderson won, but he might do something major and huge for England. That is going to be the difference between him and the recent captains England have had. Of course, Harry Kane is captain at England, but I reckon that Declan in the next 2 or 3 years will be captain for England. And if he wins a major trophy for England and he wins major honors at Arsenal, history is going to be rewritten. So, Arsenal player, let's wait for that shot number. Let's wait for it.